There's another shawl in here, guys. Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. It has been a hot minute since I last chatted with you because 2 weeks ago I came at you from Cape Cod. I was on vacation, and then last week I skipped recording because I had to catch up with work, and to be honest, I needed to recharge. I needed some me time. So thank you so much for your patience. Thank you so much for coming back. And if you are a new viewer, welcome. Welcome again to my little corner of the interwebs where I sit down and chat and share about what I've been knitting on, what I've been quilting, or whatever other crafty rabbit hole I happen to be diving down. So that said, I don't think I have any announcements to share with you this week, so gather around, grab a cup of something, and let's get into things. It's also been a minute since I had an FO, so let's talk elephants in the room, shall we? Margot the mannequin, my lovely assistant, is modeling my Miss May MKAL shawl, a mystery knit along by Helen Stewart. The mystery knit along has come to an end, so spoilers, no more. Cat's out of the bag. So here she is in all her glory. Let me go take her off the mannequin so you can actually see it. So yeah. Here we go. Ta-da! Look how huge this thing is. I mean, you know, when it comes to mystery knit-alongs, 9 out of 10, a lot of mystery knit-alongs tend to be schlanket sized, especially Stephen West patterns. Not that you can really compare Stephen West patterns to Helen Stewart patterns because they're two completely different styles and aesthetics, but you know, I absolutely love the size of this. I mean, yes, it is something that you can just chuck on and get snuggled up in on a chilly morning. I mean, during colder weather, when I come into my craft room, I love nothing more than wrapping up in a nice, big, cozy schlanket. But I feel like this is so much more versatile. Yes, I can get cozy in it, but it's also a shawl that I can wear out. I mean, because it's a crescent-shaped shawl, you can definitely style it any which way. It's very, very versatile. So yeah, look at that. I love it, guys. I absolutely, seriously, I know in the past I said I was done with mystery knit-alongs, but again, like I said, with Helen Stewart patterns, you just can't go wrong. I thoroughly enjoy every one of her patterns. Again, I'll say it till the cows come home. Her patterns are, you know, intuitive, they're easy to memorize, they're relaxing, and, you know, I feel like every other row you just get a nice, easy purl row back and forth, or knit row, you know. Helen knows what's up. She knows what's up. She knows what ticks my boxes, and I'm sure many of yours, if you're just looking for a nice chill knit. Again, this did not disappoint. So I actually published a vlog sharing how I blocked this out on some blocking mats. So I will link to that in the doobly-doo up there if you want to go check it out. You know, just sharing my blocking process if, you know, you're curious about how I go about doing it. The one thing that I do want to mention here is that in the vlog, I am on the floor blocking this. So I have my blocking mats on the floor and I'm pinning like crazy. I know some of you are not too cool with, you know, getting on your hands and knees and, you know, case in point, I probably shouldn't be doing that because I have a bad back, but alternatively, you can also, you know, spread your blocking mats out on a table, or if you don't have blocking mats, you can also use a mattress, a bed, to block your shawl. Although you probably want to do that sometime in the morning, so you have a free bed to sleep on at night. But just so you know, you can use a mattress to pin into when you're, you know, blocking your shawls out. But yeah, I guess, you know, I will talk about the yarn for the last time. This is my hand-dyed yarns, Voolenvine yarns, on my footsie base, which, confession, this was the very first time I knit a shawl using my quote-unquote sock yarn, because my footsie base is a fingering weight blend of nylon and BFL, blue face luster, and typically, you know, when you think of sock yarn, sock yarns typically have that nylon content in it because it's, you know, it adds a little sturdiness to it. It can take a lot more wear and tear, and then the BFL, it's a little more, it has a little more tooth to it. It's not as soft as other yarn blends like merino or cashmere, but at the same time, it's still very soft. And look, you can knit a shawl with it. It's just because it's, you know, quote unquote sock yarn does not mean you have to designate it to knitting just socks. You can use it for anything. So yeah, 4 colorways. forgot to talk about the colorway. So up here, this is my Jilted Rose colorway. And then down here we have Dirty on Purpose, which is a, you know, as the name suggests, it's a brown and black and kind of gray speckled hot mess of a, you know, dirty, like a dirty brown, if you will. Hence the name. And then we have Voolenvine number 9, my favorite shade of mauve. And then down here we have 7-Year Stitch, which is my 7-year anniversary colorway that I dyed for Voolenvine Yarns when I celebrated 7 years in business. And we are quickly coming upon 8 years, guys. Can you believe it? I will have been a full-time yarn dyer for 8 years. I'm pinching myself, and yeah, it completely blows my mind. But yeah, that I think my 8th anniversary is coming up this October. I believe October 24th is the day that I officially went full time. Like, it was a Monday. I didn't have to go into my former 9-to-5 office. It was very, very surreal. So anyway, yeah, very, very excited for that. But anyway, yay! The other thing that I wanted to talk about with this is that the bind off. I followed the pattern as suggested. She just has a simple twisted rib motif. I think she has you do, what is it? You know, 1 twisted knit stitch and then 4 purl stitches and then a bind off. But I decided to go a little extra with a subtle picot bind off. So you get these little nubs at the end just for, you know, just because. So yeah, I think that turned out really, really nicely. And yeah, loved this pattern. Highly recommend it if you're still on the fence about knitting it. If I were to do this again, if I knew what the FO would look like, if this wasn't a mystery knit along, I think in hindsight, I probably would have made this a solid shawl. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love the way that these colors are playing together, but I've seen some solid versions on Ravelry and they are stunning. So I don't know, maybe I will revisit this pattern in the future and do it again with a solid palette or solid colorway. So anyway, thinking out loud as I tend to do. Yeah, that is the Miss May MKAL by Helen Stewart. On the knitting front, that is the only FO that I have, but I'm very close to finishing something else, guys. Over the past week, I literally just, you know, I had some work to catch up on, obviously, but then I did carve out a lot of time for myself just to get stuff done, you know, just to knit and enjoy and indulge, you know, because why not? But yeah, I am making a lot of progress on my Fjolla, a pattern by Isabell Kraemer, and I'm knitting this as a part of the Knit Together with Kim and Jonna YouTube channel. They're hosting the Dingley Cal together with Mayak Fibers and Isabell Kraemer, and it's just a very casual, very chill, relaxed knit along where they are, you know, they are both knitting the Dingley pullover by Isabell Kraemer, but the idea of the knit along is just to knit whatever you want, as long as, you know, we're all knitting together and, you know, having fun. And yeah, so anyway, I love the idea of that knit along, and it's ending on August 31st. So plenty of time. I mean, we're not even mid-August yet, but I feel like I'm gonna have this done probably by next week. I don't know. Don't quote me on that. But as you can see, I've made quite a bit of progress since I last chatted with you. Yeah, we are, or I, royal we, why Kristen? I don't know. But yeah, I am more than halfway done with the second sleeve, and I do want to mention that I did modify the sleeve a bit. As you know, like with all of my sleeves, I tend to disregard the sleeve decreases on a lot of patterns just because whenever I do follow the directions for a sleeve decrease, it ends up as sausage casing on my already stick arms. So I don't know what that is or why. But yeah, sleeve decreases never really work out for me, so I don't do any decreases at all. Instead, when I'm ready to do the cuff ribbing, I do a rapid decrease and then do the ribbing. So it gets this nice little balloon bubble sleeve, if you will, mushroom. I guess it's like a mushroom when you look at it like that. Anyway, what do you call this type of sleeve? I have no idea. But anyway, yeah, so that sleeve is done. That's pretty much the only modification I did, and then I will do the same over here. Once the sleeves are done, all I have to do is pick up the stitches around the neckline, knit the neck ribbing, and I will have a finished Fjolla. And I'm so excited. So, yay! And truly, guys, this, again, another brilliantly written pattern. Such a pleasure to knit, and, you know, a really good introduction to Isabell Kraemer patterns. I mean, truth be told, I think I mentioned that this might be my very first Isabell Kraemer pattern that I've ever knit to completion, actually, because I did cast on Girl's Best Friend, which is a shawl pattern that she designed, but I cast that one on and for some reason I didn't finish it. I think I lost steam on it. Anyway, yeah, thoroughly enjoyed this pattern. And I, cannot wait to knit another one of her sweaters. I have a few more on my queue that I'm itching to cast on. Cardigan in particular. I'm blanking on the name of it, but anyway, I talked about it on a previous episode where I shared what patterns I'm currently itching to cast on. I'll link to that if you want to check it out. But I did stumble on another Isabell Kraemer pattern that, because believe it or not, I have a lot of yarn left over from the Miss May MKAL. As big as it is, I mean, it doesn't use up that much yarn from all 4 skeins. So this is how much of Voolenvine number 5 I have, how much of Jilted Rose I have, let me see, and then 7-Year Stitch, that's how much I have left over from that, and then Dirty on Purpose. So there's another shawl in here, guys, clearly. So, I was browsing through Ravelry and happened to stumble on another pattern by Isabell Kraemer. I was excited when I saw that it was by Isabell Kraemer, and it is called the Slip Stitch Party Shawl. I haven't made much progress on it at all, but I've got it started, and I'm actually using some other, I think it calls for 5 colorways. Yeah. So I had another cake left over in my stash. This is my By Candlelight colorway. Again, it's kind of like a golden mustard yellow. I don't know, this colorway, guys. Gold, mustard, golden brown, it's growing on me. So I did start casting it on, and that's all I have. So yeah, nothing much to write home about at all, but I like the fact that it, calls for multiple different colorways, and I was looking up the yardages and the weights and everything, and it seems like I have enough yarn for it, more than enough. So yay, new project. I cast this on a while ago, so I haven't really had time to start it, but it started. So it's there waiting for me when I'm ready. I do have a new cast on that I shared with you from the Cape Cod episode, and that is the Lace and Fade Boxy by Hoki Locatelli. Making a little progress on it, but not gonna lie, it is, it's quite the undertaking. I mean, it's not, not in the sense where there's a lot to focus on or, pay attention to. It's actually pretty mindless, if you will. It's very autopilot because, yeah, it's, if you're not familiar with her original boxy, it's just pure stockinette in the round, and you're knitting around in a long tube. But with this one, at least you have some lace to break it up and keep things interesting. But yeah, here is where I am with it. Look. Yeah, it's just a huge tube at this point. And again, this is my hand-dyed yarns, Voolenvine yarns, in my Rochester colorway, and I'm using 2 different bases. This is my Nouveau base, which is a single ply fingering weight, and then we have Ghost Lace, which is a mohair silk blend. And yeah, it's lovely. It's just, when I just want to check out and, binge watch Netflix or YouTube, I'm just going around and around and around. And, when I hit the lace bits, it's, again, one of those simple, intuitive motifs. I will say that I do at least have to pay attention to the first round of lace, just to make sure that I don't have any repeats and just establish my stitches so I can read my knitting later, if that makes any sense. So I can just kind of go on autopilot and not have to, constantly refer back and forth from the pattern. But yeah, what do I want to say about this? Yeah, true to form, I did not read the instructions all the way through. And I was left, when I was knitting this, I was like, looking at the pattern, and I was like, I wonder when she's going to have us join the shoulder seams, because, they were left open, they're kind of floppy, and I was assuming she's, later on, she's going to have us do, a 3-needle bind off or something, but I'm like, wait, she didn't have us put the shoulder seams on scrap yarn, so I don't see how a 3-needle bind off is going to work here. So I reread the directions and realized I skipped over a whole chunk of instructions, of pattern instructions, where it says to pick up and knit from the shoulder seam to knit the front part of the pattern. Anyway, true to form, I really stink at reading instructions, guys. I don't know what it is, but when I'm presented with walls of text, I go a little cross-eyed and I seem to skip over things. Does that happen to you? Let me know in the comments below. I know I'm not alone when this happens, but again, nothing wrong with the pattern. Hohi was very clear, very precise. It's right there in black and white. So I just, I skipped over it. I'm just one of those people that does not like following directions, apparently. Who knew? So, dipping into my metaphorical knitting toolkit, I was looking at my options here, and I was like, you know what? Instead of having to rip all the way back, which I was at the point that I am now, I am certainly not going to rip all the way back. But, looking at what I have to work with, we're going to have to do a mattress stitch here. So I did start to do a mattress stitch. It might be a little hard to see, but yeah, my, my mattress stitching is not the neatest. So I may rip back and, stretch things out on my blocking mats and pin things out just so I can see where the stitches align, and then go back and with a darning needle and redo the mattress stitch. But at the same time, it's not that terrible. It's not... It might bother me. I don't know. I'll let my mistakes marinate for a little bit and come back to it. In the meantime, I'm just going to continue knitting in the round, and then I'll cross that bridge when I get to it. But at least I know it's not a lost cause. There is a solution to the problem. And again, that is what I love about knitting. There's always a solution, a workaround or something. So yeah, but otherwise a great pattern. I'm loving it, very simple, chill, easy. I'm here for it. I mean, the mohair, given the heat wave we've been having, I really haven't been reaching for it. But yeah, guys, it's been disgustingly hot here in New York. I don't know about where you are, but yeah, I mean, today I think it's 77 degrees out, so it cooled down significantly. I may go out for a walk because I've been inside for a good part of the week because it's just been so disgustingly hot. I did go for a walk though. When was it? On Tuesday, I went for a walk in the park, just to get out, clear my head, get some exercise. But my gosh, my skin, it was so hot out. I think it was like 95 degrees or 96 degrees Fahrenheit. My skin literally felt like it was burning, and the heat was just radiating from the pavement. And I was just like, I'm going back inside. I don't have to be here. So anyway, yes, so that is my Lace and Fade Boxy by Joji Locatelli. Yes, and that, my friends, is all the knitting that I have to share with you. But wait, there is more. I do have another slightly, I guess you could call it a somewhat FO, because I've been quilting. I have. My friends, my peacock quilt top is finished, and here she is. She's done. I finished this, I'm going to say, when was it? On Sunday. Sunday I finished it. Dennis had stuff to take care of around the house, and I just crafted my heart out. And I am so surprised that I was able to finish this. It feels like it just flew off my sewing machine. Yeah, here it is. I'll stand up so you can see. Let's step back. But holy cow, guys, it's huge. It's big. It's a 61 by 61 inch square, so it is, a throw size or like wall hanging size. This is the peacock fabric that I got from Missouri Star Quilt Company. If you recall, several weeks ago, I made a snafu with one of the blocks that make up this pattern, and I put it out there to you. I'm like, should I rip all these back or should I just go with it? Should I redo them? And, thank you so much to everybody for your input. I did go ahead and reorder another layer cake so I could redo the center squares, actually. So, it's a prominent part of the pattern, and I did want these little points to be pointy. So as soon as I got back from vacation, the fabric was waiting for me, and I dove right in, cranked out or redid the center patches in record time. I think I finished like all of them in about like an hour and a half. So yeah, felt so much better. I am going to be repurposing the mistake patches for something else. I haven't decided. I was going to do it as an after quilt, like incorporate them into the backing, but I'm probably most likely going to be sending this out to get quilted, and I might just save those for another scrappy project or something. So fret not all is lost. They will be used in some shape or form. But yeah, it was like, I think I was just mostly surprised how quickly this came together after I finished assembling all of the blocks that make this up. So there were three different blocks that you had to make. I will show you. Let me see. So here's one block. This is the center block, and then you have these 4 points right here, and then you have 4 patches. So once all 3 sets of blocks were complete, it was kind of like a snowball effect where it all just started to come together really quickly once all the, tiny details were in place. So anyway, I hope that makes sense. And then for the background, I used this really beautiful cream and gold metallic grunge fabric that I just kind of think brought everything together. So I'll put it up close so you can see it. It's a little garish, it's a little gaudy, not gonna lie, a little out of my wheelhouse, comfort zone, but at the same time, it just makes me so happy. And guys, the irises, I love, love, love the irises. Seriously, truly, one of my favorite flowers, and give me peacocks, give me irises. I'm here for it. So, what's the next step? I am gonna send this out to be quilted. I've thought about it long and hard. I know I have a couple of other quilts that I have to finish. My William Morris quilt, and then I also have the Baby Kisses quilt. Those need to be finished. I am eventually going to be sending out the William Morris quilt to be finished, and then I'm actually going to finish the Baby Kisses quilt on my home machine just because it's a small quilt. I have the batting here and I have the backing. But yeah, this quilt will be sent out because I'm so proud of it and I'm so excited to have it done. And yeah, anyway, quilt. As for future quilting projects, I have no idea what I'm going to make next. I have plenty of fabric in my stash, so I think over the weekend I'm going to go through there and see what's calling to me and just start browsing the interwebs for a new pattern to make. Because yeah, the quilting bug has truly caught on to me, guys. I love it so much, and I love just having another craft that I can alternate between, from knitting. It's just nice to have something to switch on and off with, if that makes sense. So anyway, I think that is all I have to chat about with you this week, guys. And again, if you're new here and you haven't already, feel free to like and subscribe down below. I'm putting out videos for your viewing pleasure every week. And if you enjoy the work that I put out here, if you enjoy my videos and want to support the channel, you can do that by becoming a member. Just click the join button down below. And for a monthly fancy schmancy cup of coffee, you can enjoy a bonus vlog from me every week. I publish the Monday Waffle, just a casual vlog sharing, what I got up to over the weekend, craft-wise, life-wise, some behind the scenes, and insight into my creative process, if you will. And, some occasional bonus things sprinkled in here and there along the way. And you'll also get an invite to our private Facebook group. So anyway, that said, I hope you're having an amazing week. Have a fabulous weekend, and I will see you next time. Bye.